Hello, welcome to the first new reading log of the year. I did some reading while I was out of town, and that is why I don't have the physical copy. I actually read them online, either Viz Media app or the Shonen Jump. And I think because I was just like, I need to read something, and I just don't want to be on my phone the whole time while I went back home. And I started reading Blue Box because I finished watching the anime. And from there, I was curious and I just binge read the rest of the chapter and I'm all caught up. And you know what? That story is just super cute. It's just straight sport romance. You got basketball, badminton, rhythm gymnastic, and other sports. But it's mostly focused on basketball and badminton. And our main character, Chinatsu and Taiki. Well, Taiki has the biggest crush on Chinatsu. And then he was very surprised that she started living under, same place because Chinatsu's parents had to go abroad, and she wanted to stay behind to finish her, her school and wants to go to the national. That's her main goal. When it comes to Chinatsu, she's very reserved, not very open until later on. I'm not gonna spoil too much because Chinatsu does slowly develop feelings for Taiki, but Taiki, on the other hand, he just had the biggest crush. He loves her, and it's been kind of difficult to, be around with her, especially in the same roof. But they really support one another. They inspired each other, and that's how their motivation is out there, to do their best when it comes to their sports. But when it comes to the romance, there's gonna be another person in the picture between these two. If you watch the anime, great. Then if you know that Hina has a thing for Taiki, and Hina did confess. However, at the end, Hina didn't get what she wanted because that's just how it goes, because Taiki really likes Chinatsu. And when it comes to Taiki and Chinatsu, they do eventually, start something. I'm not going to say too much. Other than that, we're going to also meet other characters, more likely these three siblings from different school. I mean, what I'm trying to say is they have siblings from another school, but they decide to go to same school as Taiki for a lot of reasons. But yeah, I really like the story. It really focuses on sports and romance at the same time. It has a good balance between those. But you know what? I just binge read. I was super curious. It just flows so fast. It's not slow pace or fast pace. It's just right in the middle, and that made me really read along the way. And I definitely recommend it if you like sports and romance at the same time. It's just a really cute, teen romance. And when it comes to Chinatsu, I'm gonna be honest, she's full of surprises because for being a girl, I kind of understand. She started acting something different that you would never expected. Yeah, I'm trying to not say too much because something happened between Taiki and Chinatsu, and that's all I can say. Yeah, I really like Blue Box. I'm glad I was able to read it online because, again, I was like, I need to read something. I did bring manga. I only brought Hunter x Hunter, which I'm probably going to talk about next or so. But yeah, really, really like Blue Box. And now I'm just going to have to wait. It's not a weekly chapter. I think the next one is not until February. So yeah, I don't mind because now I'm all caught up. Oh my god, I should talk about the sports as well. Taiki, who is a badminton player, he does progress throughout the story. He gets better and very skillful. He even beats certain characters in the story. And then when it comes to Chinatsu, she does her best to go to the national, but I won't say too much. But she does get another opportunity to win something and prove to her father especially, because the father in the beginning was very hesitant for her to stay behind. But then after seeing what she's been, doing the past few months, being, staying behind in Japan, he realized wow, she really liked basketball. And so, yeah, that's one of the updates when it comes to the sports part. Other than that, it's a lot of romance, but there's still a balance of sports because they do go to training, more training, of course, just to get them prepped for the nationals. So yeah, aside from Blue Box, I did also binge read Seraph of the End from the Manga Plus app. I was like, I need to read another one because again, I didn't want to be like bored or be on my phone this whole time. And so, oh my god, when it comes to Serve of the End, I really highly recommend the manga, guys. It's so good. I feel like the anime didn't do too much justice, but when it comes to the manga, holy cow, it's just straight on, a lot of action and very entertaining in my opinion. When it comes to Yu and Mika, all I can say, their backstory is just it just blows me away. I don't want to say too much because there's so many information that I've gathered after reading so many chapters. I'm just like, what the heck? Like, wow, 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 wow. So when it comes to you know, he's trying to fight the vampires, but after finding out that Mika became a vampire, now it is his job to make sure Mika stay on the good side. But then when it comes to Mika, he's been kind of like influenced that the humans are bad, which is somewhat true because the humans did something to bring chaos because of Gurren. And then when it comes to Gurren, he's like the leader and he has all these plans to make another big thing to happen. I think he's trying to redeem himself because whatever he did in the first place was completely wrong, and now he's trying to make it up, if that makes sense. And so yeah, there's just a big battle between the human and the vampires, and now the vampires and the humans are kind of working because they sort of have the same common enemy. It's like a back and forth. They hate each other, now they don't hate each other, vice versa. And you, at first he was siding with Mika and then of course the rest of the teammates, but then learning about what exactly happened about Gurren and other people, now his main focus is just about himself and Mika and trying to save everybody. Like, Yu has a lot of on his plates, but at the same time he knows what he wants and all he cares about his family, which is his teammates. Mika, he still considered Gurren family because he did take him in and, you know, train him on all that sorts. And oh my god, again, the backstory between Mika and Yu is just crazy. Let's just say, you know, they've known each other, or not really known each other. Yu was something else back in the days. And then Mika, on the other hand, Mika, I'm gonna be honest, he is the center of this story where it all started, the whole calamity, because of his father, because of his creator. I won't say who is the creator and what am I saying. What are you trying to say? Like, Mika is something else? Yeah, Mika is something else. I mean, Mika, again, he is the center of the story. Like, what caused this whole thing to even started and why even the vampire exists and blah blah blah. I won't say too much, but Serve of the End, all I can say is so good, guys. It's definitely, I am gonna do my like top manga from last year, and I think Serve of the End is gonna be my number one for sure. I'm gonna like do my best to talk about my top manga that, you know, something new. I'm not gonna like probably bring out like the same manga, my top manga from the other year. But anyway, I'm getting kind of like sidetracked. So Serve of the End, so good. Just read the manga. I definitely recommend Manga Plus app if you don't want to, you know, buy the manga physically. I think the monthly payment is about $3 to $4. Really not bad because they have other manga as well. Yeah, Serve of the End, I just wish that they do make another season. Hopefully they do better because the first two seasons was okay. I just feel like it was a little bit rushed, but the manga is way better, guys. So yeah, check out Serve of the End. All I can say is gonna get crazy, a lot of twists, a lot of mystery that is gonna open up, and we finally can get an answer, especially about Mika and Yu's past and who started it and why it even started in the first place and where they even came from in the first place. That's all I can say. Definitely check out Serve of the End. Yes, there is another manga that I binge read, and that is called Snowball Earth. And whenever I go to the bookstore and every time I see it, I was like, oh my god, I need to finish or continue reading Snowball Earth, because I only read the first manga maybe last year, way earlier than that. But yeah, I decided to I need to read it. And so Snowball Earth, they're being invaded by these alien kaijus from all different planets because their main like goal is to go different planets, eat and evolve and destroy the planets. And of course, the humans do find out about their main goal, and now they're like, oh, holy cow, we need to get rid of these kaijus, especially the main kaiju, who is, I think, living around in Tokyo. And we have our main character named Tetsuo. Now, he went to outer space to kill all these kaijus, and then something happened, and then he went back to Earth, finding out that Earth become an ice age. So the setting takes in an ice age. And of course, he learned that, humans are still around, but now they're hiding and, very limited. And then he was rescued by this group of people because he was stuck in this cave fighting a kaiju. And he learned that these people also eat these kaiju for main sources and a lot of things. And when he was rescued, he learned about what happened to Earth. And they live in this mall. However, slowly but surely, they were getting attacked by kaiju. And then Tetsuo decided to help them. There's a lot of battle between the kaiju, and it's just sad because this story is all about survival and trying to make ends and trying to figure out what they can do to survive and get sources. And they eventually had to move because their place has been compromised, because now the kaiju know exactly where they are, because again, kaiju eats and kill and evolve, and once they do evolve, they're gonna start destroying the planet. And of course, the humans are of course scared, and they really wanna get rid of the main kaiju that lives or reside in Tokyo. But they also have generals, kaijus. I'll just call it generals. They're not really called generals. They're the main powerful kaiju, because you have the lower end kaiju, if that makes sense. And it's been hard beating one of them, because the last time I read was they were trying to beat. Actually, I think they did beat it. Now, Tetsuo, his main source of fighting is his robot, where he had when he was in outer space. And then this robot has evolved because there's a inner power, a sort of special power. And the kaiju, the main kaiju or whoever, learn about this, and they also need it for a lot of reason. And then the creator of this robot happened to be Tetsuo's father, I believe, and he's alive, and they're trying to find him because they need more answer about this special power that Tetsuo had in his robot. There's a name for it, of this robot, I just forgot. Anyway, sorry if that's all confusing. So again, alien kaiju trying to evolve and destroy the planet, and now the humans are prepared and they're going to do their best to get rid of all this kaiju. And the reason why this ice started because of the main kaiju, and at the same time one of the humans was being tricked, and that's why these all kaiju started coming in. Because sometimes kaijus, I'm not saying they can change to human or they can manipulate or become human. I only read it probably last week. Now my memory is not as clear, but that's all I can say. A kaiju who pretend to be human, or maybe transfer their stuff to a human body, manipulate a human, and thought that this human would do something great, but instead he got betrayed, if that makes sense. And so yeah, Tetsu right now, they're in a new area, but again, he actually leave because he wants to find the father, or they're trying to go to Tokyo to beat the main kaiju. Because if they can beat that main kaiju, they think that it's going to destroy the rest of the kaiju. So it's almost similar as kaiju number 8, but different plot, if that makes sense. I really like the story. There's just a lot of action and anguish because it's all about surviving right now, and they're just trying to figure out what they can do to make Earth normal. And yeah, really like Snowball Earth so far. Oh, I only read up to chapter 26 because Viz Media is missing some chapters right now, so I didn't want to read on and then stop. I think I'm gonna continue reading once they have the rest of the chapters. So yeah, there is another important thing that I forgot to mention. Somehow the humans, or certain humans, can tame kaiju, and they do gain power and can control these kaiju, because Tetsuo does meet a kaiju tamer where they this character, she tames this fire kaiju, which helps this which helps the facility where they're living heat up and get some warmth, because it is an ice age setting. And so they do meet other kaiju tamers, which is kind of interesting, let's be honest. And these kaiju tamers has different powers, and Tetsuo does beat these other kaiju tamers. Oh, another thing that I forgot to mention, Tetsuo does meet another character who has almost the same robots as Tetsuo, and that's where he learned about this main source of power, I believe, and they decide to work together, then leave, and then find the father or try to beat the main kaiju. So yeah, I'm gonna continue doing this binge read or reading online, because I think there's a lot of people out there who prefer reading online, or people prefer physically, which I am. And I realize I think reading online does have a lot of other benefits, because if you don't want to bring manga, if you're going to go to a trip or vacation, you can just read it online, because I'm sure a lot of places has Wi-Fi, and this way you don't have to carry or have them. But at the end of the day, you do you, whatever makes you think is best for you. But yeah, I realized, what, I think reading online is not that bad. And honestly, when I read online, it feels faster, because I just swipe, and I don't have to worry about waiting for the next volume to come out, or I don't have to worry about buying them right now, because manga do increase, because you do save reading online, because you're just paying for the monthly fee, and this way you don't have problems about space. So I think that's one of the few benefits about reading online. Just finished reading Goku Rakugai, reading it online. I think it was the Shonen Jump app. I actually started reading the series online, and then luckily it saved where I left off. And it's all about this monster called Manga, but they found out that these Manga are being created by this guy named Yomi. And not only that, he's creating manga humans. In other words, he revived humans that are already passed on, and he would let them drink his blood. It's almost like vampires. So this way they can get some manga powers. But sometimes these humans either stay in their human form or become a monster called manga. And that's how they learned so far where these manga came from, or these manga human, because one of them, which they encountered because our main character's friend started dating, and then something happened, and now this manga human she kind of fell in love with the main character, and then they found out that she's a manga human, and they captured her, and then suddenly the other manga humans start attacking their headquarters. So their place is being compromised, and now there's just like a big battle. So this story is really not bad. I like it. There's a lot of action, and you got the manga, the monsters. Of course, you got this main enemy whose main goal is pretty much bring chaos and create all this manga monster, just because it doesn't really say why he's doing it, but anyway, it's not bad of a story, except I think this series has a slow release, because I swear I started reading it last year, and they only have up to chapter 33, and I don't know if it's like a weekly thing or so, but I would think they already have a lot of chapters, because I think the first 3 volumes is already out in English. I could be wrong, but yeah, it's nice that I read it online, because this is another series that I keep seeing it in store, but oh, where's the new chapter? Or at least it's up online where you can just read it instead of waiting for the physical manga to come out. Again, I think that's one of the good benefits about reading online. So this way you don't have to wait for the physical, because sometimes online can be ahead than the physical. Of course in Japan it's way ahead, but if it's English publication physically, it does take time. Anyway, Goku Rakugai, it's all about monsters. You got this main enemy who creating all this monster, and it's the main character's job, I'm already forgetting his name, I'm so sorry, to bring them down. He's also part of this organization, And his power is pretty interesting because he's like a half human and half manga, and he's very powerful, and he has this thing on his chest, and at the same time, like whenever he loses blood, he gets weak, and so he has to make sure he doesn't lose a lot of blood. But yeah, Gokuraga guy, if you're unsure about the story, definitely check it out online if you can. And again, it has a slow release chapter. That's one thing I noticed. All right, I just read another manga online from the Shonen Jump app called Trojan X. I actually don't own the physical manga because I've been reading them at my library, so thankfully they have it at the app. So I don't remember what chapter I started, but I did end up reading until chapter 49.2 because they have something like that. The last time I read was Tokyo, learn about Sora. She's like who started the calamity years ago, many years ago, and I'm not quite sure if she was the one who started the Trojan, because my memory is not as very clear, or I don't remember too much. I feel like there are times I feel like I need to reread Trojan, but yeah. So he learns about Sora, and also their main goal is to find the opium, which is like the main ingredient to make people Trojan, and they were able to capture, I guess he's like a dealer. And before that, they also capture a girl who was experimenting on dead people, and she has the power to also sort of bring them alive because she kind of went crazy, and they had to step in to stop her, and they capture her, and they also captured the dealer. And at the same time, now they're working together to find the main field for the opium, and Tokyo and Ellie decide to take them on this journey to find the field. And then once they got to the field, they saw this big old rock who was being controlled by this guy who believed that one day Sora will come back, because apparently that's where the opium, field was being made. And there was a big fight, and it took them a while to really defeat the enemy. And then they also captured that guy who was controlling the big rocks. And now they're planning to basically get rid of the field. So this way, they believe that Zora's plan will hinder and maybe slowly not take extra steps to reach her goal. So now Tokyo and the rest of the gang are just taking it easy until they know what's their next step. This story so far, it started really good, and then in the middle it started to feel like, oh, okay, this story feels kind of familiar from other manga series, but now it's getting even more interesting, the fact that we learn about Sora and her plans and why this even started in the first place. But yeah, looking forward to read more of Children X, and definitely probably read on more online, because I'm not sure if I want to collect the physical manga since I'm able to access it online, thankfully. And I think that's what I'm gonna do for the rest of this series, just read the rest online. So I would say if you like Tokyo Ghoul, because it's the same mangaka who wrote it, definitely check it out. And again, if you don't want to get the physical manga, definitely check out Shonen Jump, and I think it's about like $2 or $3.99 per month. Hello, so let's wrap up this reading log. I'm gonna do it in front of my manga shelf. I know I haven't done like manga organization or maybe up to date, but let me give you some sneak peek. It's just messy. I've added some things that I don't like having in front of the manga, but I just don't have space, so we got some random stuff in front of the mangas. Anywho, this time around I decided to read some manga online because I was out of town, and I realized, you know what, I needed to read while I was out of town, and it really kept me also busy, and that is one of them is Seraph of the End. Oh my god, I love Seraph of the End. I'm so happy I decided to just continue reading online, because I do have the rest of the manga physically, but you know what, reading online was just a breeze. Just swiping the chapters was just so fast. I love Seraph of the End. The story is just amazing. So many action, so many twists, so many backstory. Like, holy cow, Mika and Yu's backstory, that was a big surprise. I'm not gonna say too much. But next we had, what was it again? Snowball Earth? Was it Snowball Earth? Yes. Oh, let me tell you where I read them. So Surf of the End I read at Manga Plus app, and then Snowball Earth, oh my god, I hope I don't get this wrong or mixed up. I believe I read it from the Viz Media app. That one I haven't read for so long. I had to like reread some few chapter, and it's a really good story, different from Kaiju number 8, but it still deals with kaiju, except it takes place on a ice age setting. But you know, this one is all about survival, and humans are just doing their best to live day to day. And yeah, again, I believe I read that from the Viz Media app. Hopefully I didn't get that wrong. You can read Surf of the End also at Shonen Jump, which I'm gonna talk about next, where I read Rokogok. Oh my god, I'm gonna say it wrong. Rokogaku. Oh yeah, I have the physical manga. Hold up. Here you go. Goko Rakugai. So I guess I only read one volume online, because I read 1, 2, 3 last year. So this one, it's all about Manga, the monster. We got to learn more about him. I'm not gonna say too much. So basically, yeah, this is Yomi. He's able to like basically control the dead by giving them his blood, and then they become a Manga human, like half Manga, half human, and they become like, you know, kind of powerful. And of course our main characters are finally figuring out what's going on, where these manga are coming from. But yeah, really good story so far, except this series seems like it has a slow release. Again, I believe I read this from the Shonen Jump. Oh, sorry guys, it's from the Viz Media. Well, they're both the same, Viz Media and Shonen. Anyway, the last one I read was Trojan X, which, holy cow, I'm probably gonna correct myself and just write it on the screen. I think I read it from the Shonen Jump. That one I had to also reread because I sort of forgot some few information. But Tokyo, he's just really trying to make sure that everyone's good, and making sure that Sora, which is the main enemy, that Sora doesn't go further with her plans by making another calamity. And so they were trying to figure out where they can find the main ingredients, and so they did. But yeah, really nice story so far. I mean, I did say that there were some parts was just okay. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep reading online when it comes to Trojan X. I don't have the physical manga at all, and I did start reading that series from my library because I haven't been in my library for so long. Other than that, I think it's great to read online if you don't want to buy the physical manga, or if you don't have enough space, because I know a lot of people read online. The fact that when you read online, it's way more advanced and you don't have to wait for the physical manga to come out. Now, you can read some of these stories probably for free. You just have to probably dig deeper, because I know like some sites are either prohibited or you can't open it, or some sites some few sites has been taken down. For example, I read like Windbreaker, like I was all caught up, and then suddenly the website got taken down, which is kind of sad because I was reading Windbreaker for free online. But anywho, the app that I go to is Shonen Jump, Viz Media app, and Manga Plus app. They range about $2 to $4 a month. What's great about it also is that they have other stories, other series that you can have access, but sometimes it can be limited. Because what's weird is Viz Media app, you can read some of the stories on the website, but yet you can't get access for some reason, and you have to pay. I was confused with that because I was gonna read Hell's Paradise, but it says only website. I was able to access the chapters on the website, but then for some reason I can't find it now. Anywho, website and the app is completely different, just letting you know. But yeah, I do like reading online, especially if I'm out of town, so this way I don't have to carry so much manga with me. It was just so beneficial because it's just so convenient when you want to read something, and if you don't have the physical manga, you can just read it online either for free or you can get, these apps. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this reading log. Let me know if you guys read online or you do half because when it comes to me, I do prefer physical series, but you know what, I'm gonna actually take advantage on these apps because I do pay for them, but at the same time they have, other series that I might be interested in. You never know. But anywho, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.